Well, hello there, and welcome to a Film a Day bonus. Of course, if you have been watching any of my videos over the last couple of weeks, at the end of each video you'll have seen a stinger for the Oscar Awards coverage that I have been trying to prepare for, probably since the beginning of running this YouTube channel. And of course, it is all in the aid of going for the 93rd Academy Awards, or the Oscars, for this year. So, business first, I suppose. As you can imagine, I did originally consider doing this as a live stream. However, there are a couple of factors that sort of hindered that. Of course, I did my BAFTA coverage as a live stream, but because of technical issues, it ended up being an audio only, which frankly worked out better. And of course, I followed the show as I was streaming. However, I was very cautious of those technical issues coming up again. That doesn't completely put me off, but I've not had the opportunity to continue doing live streams, so I put a pin in that. Additionally, of course, being a American awards ceremony, the Oscar would take place somewhere between, I think, if I remember rightly, 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. And so consequently, I would have to stay up till somewhere around that time live streaming, and I work other jobs than YouTube is not my main thing, and unfortunately I couldn't commit to that kind of schedule. And thirdly, it is in fact my birthday today, as you can see from my lovely cards that I've got, my actual real world birthday, and so I kind of wanted the opportunity to be able to enjoy that without having to stay up till 3 a.m. So, the way I've decided to do this is I'm doing today's video, which will cover the nominations, my thoughts on each one, what I would like to win, and what I think will win. And then tomorrow, I will do a second video as a reactions to each winner. So hopefully that'll broadly be cover the entire ceremony in a way that befits all of the effort that I've gone to watching the films. Now, if you actually are interested in knowing each individual film, I put together a playlist of every film that I have reviewed that is an Oscar nominee in the playlist for A Film a Day. So please do check that out if there's any particular nominees that you kind of want to learn more about or my perspective on. So, without further ado, I've got my nice shirt on. I'm very comfortable in my chair. I've got my brand new recording equipment, which I'm testing out. So we will see how this all goes. Let's talk Oscar nominees. Now, my producer, Helen, has wonderfully agreed to read through each nominee, so I don't have a sheet of paper that I'm fiddling, or tablet that I'm fiddling around with. So she'll highlight each nominee, and then I'll discuss each category one by one, and we'll work our way through that. You're going to say, hello, producer Helen.
Hello.
So, we'll start from the bottom, and then we'll work our way up to Best Picture at the end of the video. So,
You prepared?
I'm prepared. Are
Okay.
you prepared?
Yes, I'm prepared. Oh, I should have got some water first, but never mind. Okay, our first category is Best Visual Effects. The nominees are Love and Monsters, The Midnight Sky, Mulan, The One and Only Ivan, and Tenet.
So, one regret that I've had, and it's funny that that's actually, I didn't even realise this was nominated in this category, is that actually Love and Monsters came up in my periphery a couple of days ago, and I had no real interest in watching it. However, the Netflix trailer that came up made me go, oh, I actually would like to give this film some time and attention. Too little, too late. Consequently, the only film of that category that I've seen, or films, sorry, are Midnight Sky and Tenet. I did not enjoy Midnight Sky. I don't know George Clooney's other directorial feats, but Midnight Sky I found incredibly hard watch. And it might be my attitudes towards hard sci-fi, but I just didn't find it particularly interesting for me. Based on the BAFTA win, I strongly feel that Tenet is going to win. Tenet, again, in my video on the Prestige, I talked about Nolan and what Nolan's vision and what his ethos is in terms of filmmaking and the effort he goes to. And I think Tenet, for all the criticisms that people have of it, tries to do something interesting with the, using the mechanic of backwards time travel and the relationship between linear storytelling and then reverse linear storytelling. And there are certain visual effects in that I genuinely think are revolutionary. So, frankly, and again, it won the BAFTA for visual effects, and I can't think of any reason why it wouldn't win this. But then, I also haven't seen, what's it called, The
One and Only Ivan.
The One and Only Ivan, nor have I seen Mulan. But I'm staking my flag, Tenet.
Okay. Best production design. The Father, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, News of the World, and Tenet.
So the only one I haven't seen of those is, of course, as I've mentioned time and time again, not all of the Oscar and BAFTA nominees were released in time for the ceremonies in the UK. The only one that I absolutely haven't had the opportunity to see is The Father in this category, which looks like it's going to be released sometime in June. Oh, God. Okay. Sometime in June. So, and I'm worried that's going to come up a lot, but I haven't seen it. That's just the matter of fact. However, I have seen all the others. This is a tricky one because I love Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I think in terms of the look and style and design and period of it, I genuinely believe that it is a strong contender. However, and again, this is referring back to the BAFTAs, Mank, despite the fact that Mank hasn't done as well as people thought it would across all of the awards, the DGAs, the Screenwriters Awards, the BAFTAs, the Academy loves, Hollywood loves films about Hollywood, and they might not get another opportunity to give Mank an award. And consequently, I want Ma Rainey's Black Bottom to win. I think Mank will win, because if it's going to win anything, they're likely going to give it to this. So, that's where I stand.
Best makeup and hairstyling. Emma, Hillbilly Elegy, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, and Pinocchio.
So this one, the only one I haven't seen is Pinocchio. I can't think of any reason why Ma Rainey's Black Bottom won't win this, because for the before-mentioned reason, I think there's a certain style to it, a look that's, and I said, and again, same with the BAFTAs. It in that respect, it was a clear winner. And I can't, Emma, and Mank maybe, but the only other one I can think, potentially Hillbilly Elegy, because they were really trying to go for something. But even then, I do think Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is head and shoulders.
Best film editing. The Father, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, The Trial of the Chicago 7.
So two there, which I haven't seen, which is The Father and Nomadland. I'm seeing Nomadland on Friday when it's released to Disney+. So putting a pin in those two. Film editing, I think it's a toss-up between two. Promising Young Woman is genuinely phenomenal. And I think the editing of Promising Young Woman, considering that it was Fenella... I've forgotten her name. My brain's gone blank, but it's the directorial debut for
Emerald
Fennell. Emerald Fennell. I think she really knocks it out the park in terms of creating this really incredibly well-told, epic story, and yet makes it so intimate. And editing really is a significant part of that. However, Sound of Metal is a technical feat. Sound of Metal in itself is not the most interesting story, but the way that it creates the experience of going deaf through sound design, but then also using editing to really, internalize the experience, as authentic as it may or may not be, it's so visceral that I do think that, again, sound editing is part of editing as much as it is part of sound, and I think that there's something about that film that might not narratively speak so well, but in terms of like the raw storytelling of through technical production is unique. It is unique, and I think if I'm tossing up between those two, I think Sound of Metal is the one that will win best editing.
And just to be clear, we've just stepped over international feature film.
I've not had the ability, as I've mentioned when I've talked about other foreign language films. Of course, the continuing problem that I am unable to read subtitles. We have found ways around it between me and Helen to work through films like Minari, but it's a significant amount of effort, and unfortunately, that means I haven't seen all of any other of the foreign language features. Speculatively, I think it's either going to go to Minari. Is Minari?
Minari's not in there, but Another Round, I think, is the one you're thinking.
Oh, that is what I'm thinking of. Speculatively, I'm thinking it's going to go to Another Round. If Minari was in there, it would be Minari. But no, Another Round is so well spoken of. But then that is based on hearsay and conjecture. So that's where I will go with that.
Okay. Best documentary feature.
So documentary is another one where, and this has no real justification, simply because other than documentaries are just not something I'm particularly versed in, that I haven't seen most of the documentary features. Actually, do name the nominees. Just
Collective, Crip Camp, The Mole Agent, My Octopus Teacher, and Time.
So the only ones I've seen of those are Crip Camp and My Octopus Teacher. And consequently, I don't feel like I can speak confidently about the other three. I know that the Collective is a foreign language documentary. I'm not sure about the other two, but consequently, that's at least partly the justification for why I haven't seen it. I did like Crip Camp a lot. I thought it really highlighted the experience of people of a variety of disabilities. But My Octopus Teacher is a beautiful, balletic, visual style of storytelling. And of course it won BAFTA for Best Documentary. So with little knowledge, I guess, I would err towards My Octopus Teacher.
And there's also Best Documentary Short Subject.
We'll skip documentary short simply because I haven't seen them at all. I haven't seen any of them, I'm afraid. And it will be the same for live action short. I just haven't seen... Oh, not entirely true. Sorry. Are we going straight into live action short?
We've got Best Cinematography next.
Okay. We'll come back to live action short. I haven't seen any of the animated shorts, so I'm sorry, but I'm just going to outright skip that.
Best Cinematography. Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, News of the World, Nomadland. The Trial of the Chicago 7.
That's a tricky one. Of course, it comes back to I haven't seen Nomadland, but I've seen all of the others. Oh, that is a difficult one. If I'm going to go anywhere, I think I'm going to. My desire is Judas and the Black Messiah. I think that's the one that tells a really interesting visual story that, although it's very script heavy and character heavy, there are certain shots and certain ways that people are framed. There's a particular scene of a raid quite late in the film that's so heartbreaking and told entirely through cinematography that I think that stayed with me. Trial of the Chicago... Okay, that's the one I would want to win. I think Trial of the Chicago 7 will win, because I do like it, and I do think there are some remarkable bits of cinematography. I love Judas and the Black Messiah, but I think Trial of the Chicago 7 will win.
Okay, and next is Best Live Action Short.
So, I haven't seen most of them, with the exception of one, but I think it's so strong, and I was so impressed with it that I can't go without mentioning it, which is Two Distant Strangers. Two Distant Strangers is a remarkable film for the short amount of time that it's able to tell this time loop story. And it talks about race, the relationship with the police in the US, and the struggles of an everyday black man just trying to live his life and without being harassed or his life being put in danger. And I genuinely think it packs such a punch in such a short amount of time that, in spite of the fact that I haven't seen any of the others, I couldn't not say that one deserves... If it doesn't deserve winning, it deserves watching.
And then we have Best Animated Short. So we'll skip that.
We will skip that, but I will say, unfortunately, I have only seen Soul, and that's, again, on me. I only have... Oh, animated short.
Yeah.
Sorry. Skip. Yeah, sorry, I haven't seen any animated shorts. That's just...
Okay. Best Costume Design. Emma, Mank, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mulan and Pinocchio.
So, there's not much more to say than I haven't already said in makeup, because they're the same nominees.
So, yeah.
Same reason. I think it's going to be Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. None of the other... Mank, maybe? Because, again, Hollywood loves Hollywood, but I think, and I would want Ma Rainey's Black Bottom to win, because it's just got such a good look and style to it. Hands down.
Okay, my category, Best Sound.
So, sorry, just to explain that, Helen, of course, outside in real life, is a sound designer. So, of course, that has a personal place in her heart.
Greyhound, Mank, News of the World, Soul, and Sound of Metal.
There's no point discussing it in any great detail. Sound of Metal will win. It's impossible.
I can't see it not winning.
It's impossible. If anything else wins, it would be the greatest crime of like technical awards nomination, because it's just Sound of Metal. Actually, the entire story is about sound design and different ways of exploring sound design. I put up an interesting video by the sound designer, not one of mine. This is a IGN Cinefix video where they interview the sound designer about the ways in which he experimented with sound design, and I genuinely think that's worth watching. So I'm taking the time to discuss these films to say, watch that. Sound of Metal will win, hands down. There's no question.
Best Original Score. The Five Bloods, Mank, Minari, News of the World, and Soul.
I don't know. See, instinct, Soul. My instinct is Soul will win, because Soul obviously is so entrenched in music and musicality and using music to create a sense of style that feeds into the visual world. But see, it's difficult because the others aren't really about music. Not one of them. They have really strong pieces of music in them. Something like News of the World, again, because it's about sort of early Americana, and it's about creating atmosphere through vision and through sound and through music. You could, but I don't think it could be anything other than Soul, really. Maybe Minari has an interesting score that's a bit different, but no, it's going to be Soul. There's no other question about it, really, because it's so, in the same way that Sound of Metal is about sound design, Soul is so much about music and the songs and style of it. It would be shocking if it didn't win.
Do you want to do Best Original Song?
Sure, you may as well, just briefly.
Okay, there's a song called Fight For You from Judas and the Black Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
Hear My Voice from the Trial of the Chicago 7. Who's a Vic from the Eurovision Song Contest. Something called EOC, which is Scene from The Life Ahead. And Speak Now from One Night in Miami.
Oh, so Soul doesn't get one in?
No, apparently not. Well, there weren't many songs in Soul.
No,
it was
they're not.
Mostly just
score.
instrumental, yeah.
What was the name of the one from One Night in Miami.
Called Speak Now.
Speak Now. That one rings a bell. Yes, because it's about Sam Cooke. Sorry, I was thinking Sam Clark, and I'm like, that's not his name. Sam Cooke. And that is part of the story. Oh no, I was thinking the BAFTA nominee for the United States versus Billie Holiday, which of course, as much as I'm not keen on that film, if there was anything it did amazingly, it was doing that song. But it's not a great film. Yeah, I think I think it's a shame that One Night in Miami essentially is kind of being, is not going to see a look in, even though I think it's a great film. It's a genuinely great film. And so just for that, I think maybe that's the one that's going to win. And I can't think of any of the others that really stood out to me quite as much. Oh, not one from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, or is there?
No.
That's weird. That is weird.
There were no original songs though.
Of course, original. Yeah, I think it'll be One Night in Miami.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Best Original Screenplay: Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman, The Sound of Metal, The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Oh, that's a bloody tough category. Oh my god. Can I throw this to you for a second? Just while I consider that? Just as a as someone who has seen all the films, or most of the films I've seen.
Well, if you talk about original screenplays, then maybe you'd want to grab one that was from a story, not historical, so that would discount The Trial of Chicago 7 and Judas and the Black Messiah. And then Minari is semi-autobiographical, so that leaves us with Promising Young Woman or Sound of Metal. Not that those other three might not win, but if it were me, I would choose something that was completely original.
You're right. Okay.
And I have to think Promising Young Woman probably is the strongest.
It's the strongest. And I do think it's such a well-written, integrated script.
But then Sound of Metal has also got an interesting... Obviously, because a lot of the characters speaking to each other are deaf and are speaking either in American Sign Language or sort of with voice recognition software that shows their words on a screen, or by lip reading. That's also an interesting challenge when it comes to writing dialogue.
This is true. And then Trial of the Chicago 7, of course, just has such a powerful character work that I think that one... Okay, I think I know where I'm at. Where would you, just out of curiosity, where would you sort of, if you...
Possibly Sound of Metal.
It's interesting because I'm going to go the other way, well, the other two ways. I would want Promising Young Woman to win. I think Trial of the Chicago 7 will win because it's so well written, and it does a mountain of work of creating these really rich and integrated characters and really snappy. And then of course it's got that snappy dialogue that Aaron Sorkin has, and I think that's probably why it will win. But Promising Young Woman again does something, as I said, makes something incredibly epic and like Greek tragedy style, and yet makes it so personal and so relatable that I think I would want Promising Young Woman to win. But equally, you're right. You're right about Sound of Metal. So that's a really hard category across the board. I think any one of those could win, but I'm going to say I think Trial of Chicago 7, I want Promising Young Woman, and you think and want Sound of Metal.
I don't know if I think, but I want.
You want.
Okay. Best Adapted Screenplay: Borat's subsequent movie film, The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, The White Tiger.
So, again, Nomadland and The Father, I have to put pins in those. Haven't seen either. You know what? Part of me kind of wants Borat to win because it's the fact that it's been nominated is remarkable to me, but it won't. It won't, and it's not really the way that Borat and the structure of the Borat projects have gone. It's barely scripted. I mean, there are scenes of dialogue and character and stuff that's really well integrated with reality. But I don't think White Tiger will win. I like White Tiger. I'm glad it's nominated, but I just don't think it's quite there And then what does that leave us with? What's the other? If it's not those four.
One Night in Miami.
Okay. No, I want... So I was going to say I want Borat, but I think One Night in Miami, but I do want One Night in Miami to win because I am worried that one is otherwise just... It's barely...
It's very beautiful as well.
It's so well written and so beautiful, you're right. As much as I like Borat, and I think Borat genuinely achieved something quite remarkable in terms of commentary and, you know, the integration of fiction and reality, and using that whole to all satirically, I think I have to give it to One Night in Miami for its powerful character work, its real stagey storytelling, and yet something cinematic within that, if you see what I mean. You know, it's both stagic and cinematic. So yeah, One Night in Miami.
Best animated feature film?
So I'm going to burn through this because this is another bad one, like documentary, where there's no reason I shouldn't have seen all of these, just simply time is the reason. So
well, the nominees are Onward, Over the Moon, A Shaun the Sheep Movie, Farmageddon, Soul, and Wolf Walkers.
Soul is the only one I've seen. Soul, I guess.
I think Soul's got quite a good chance.
Soul is likely because it's such... Practically Pixar wins every year, almost. So it's, you know... I've heard Wolf Walkers is really remarkable, but I haven't seen it. I feel terrible for that. So I'm going to have to just say Soul.
Okay, we're approaching the final 6 now.
Okay,
we have Best Actress in a Supporting Role. Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie film. Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy. Olivia Colman for The Father. Amanda Seyfried for Mank. And Yoo Jung-yoon for Minari.
so Father, Olivia Colman, put a pin in that. Yoo Jung-yoo will probably win because she's, again, BAFTA winner, and there is something about that performance and character that really stood out, and it's probably in the context of the film, it's the best written and performed character. You know what? I'm gonna do the reverse of what I did with adapted was it adapted screenplay, which is I'm gonna say I want Borat to win. Because I think she is what's the name of the actress again? It's
Maria Bakalova.
Maria Bakalova came out of nowhere and essentially stood side by side with Sacha Baron Cohen and managed to match him in terms of comedy, in terms of character, in terms of blending fiction and reality. So, you know what? Maria Bakalova, I think Yoo Jung-yoo, because she is excellent. And again, it's a more traditional winner, although again it wouldn't be a shame because again she you know, a foreign language winner. This is an older non-English speaking, or at least in the film non-English speaking character, and I think that's worth the merit. But I would love Borat to have won an Oscar. That would be great.
Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of Chicago 7. Daniel Kaluuya from Judas and the Black Messiah. Leslie Odom Jr. from One Night in Miami. Paul Raci from Sound of Metal. And Lakeith Stanfield from Judas and the Black Messiah.
This was almost a done deal. It was always going to be Daniel Kaluuya from Judas and the Black Messiah, because it was a weird situation to have no leading actor nominated from Judas and the Black Messiah. To have two characters who both could be leads in categorization, both be given supporting actor. So there is no lead actor according to the way that the category's been laid out, because they are, one or other of them has to have been the lead. And of course, of those two, Daniel Kaluuya is probably the lead, but he's given such a good performance. And honestly, Judas and the Black Messiah is a earth-shattering film. And again, it opens that side of black history that I just had no knowledge of. And I think some of those... I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen was great in Trial of Chicago 7 and really gave this layered and complex character. But Daniel Kaluuya really is such an interesting character and story, and I can't see him not winning. I genuinely can't see him not winning.
Okay. Best Actress in a Leading Role. Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for The United States vs. Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman.
This is a tricky one. In my mind, it's a two-hander between Carey Mulligan and Viola Davis.
But you've not seen Nomadland. So.
I've not seen Nomadland, admittedly, so I don't know about Frances McDormand. I will.
And she won the BAFTA as well.
She did win the BAFTA, but I'm only going to talk about this from the context of things have seen, because I can't work speculatively like that if I've seen so many. See, Viola Davis's character is so gravitational that even though there are, like I said in my review, there are portions of the film where she's not even in it, and yet the characters and the story are entirely orbiting her. And yet Carey Mulligan gives such a complex, rich character. I'm going to say I think Carey Mulligan, but okay, this one's going to be a split decision. I think it's going to be Carey Mulligan, but I would want either Carey Mulligan or Viola Davis.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Okay. Best Actor in a Leading Role. Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, or Stephen Yeun for Minari.
You see, for me, it's an easy one because what I've been reading and seeing, it looks like it's a two-hander between Anthony Hopkins and Chadwick Boseman. But for me, that's easy. I still haven't seen The Father, so I have to just kind of dismiss that for the sake of my own context. So for me, it has to be Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman, who gives a performance like one that I've never been able to see from him. I will never get the chance to see from him again. The fact that this is, a what's the word? In retrospect, posthumous. This is a posthumous acknowledgement of his career, his abilities. Yes, I would. If I'm backing a horse, I would back Chadwick Boseman, because in that respect. Sorry, just quickly to fall back on the other one. If Chadwick Boseman wins Best Actor, then I'm probably thinking Carey Mulligan will win Best. I mean, it's possible that you could have Best Actor and Best Actress for the same film, but I'm thinking Chadwick Boseman is going to win Best Actor. I'm 90% confident, having not seen The Father. So,
okay, Best Director: Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round, David Fincher for Mank, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman.
Of course, I haven't seen Nomadland and Another Round, so that puts me at a severe disadvantage. And I think both director I know is a really tight race across the board. Okay, what are the three that I've seen again? Because
Mank, Minari, and Promising Young Woman.
Could be any one of the three. You see, my thinking is, I would want Emerald Fennell to win. I think Minari could strongly win. And people are really talking. I don't see in Minari what other people see, if I'm being totally honest. I think it's a good film, but I don't think it's anywhere near the levels that we've talked about with past foreign language winners and some of these others. But it's so well spoken about that I can see that happening. But then I could also see Mank winning. Mank, actually, weirdly, I do think is falling behind. I do think, despite the fact that it's David Fincher, despite the fact that it's Hollywood loves Hollywood, and despite the fact that it is a good film for what it is, it's falling behind. So, I want Emerald Fennell to win, but I think, what's the director of Minari?
Lee Isaac Chung.
I think it might be Lee Isaac Chung. But I want it to be Minari. And again, haven't seen two of the others, so, that one I'm in a severe disadvantage of.
Okay, we've got to the big one.
Best Picture.
Best Picture. The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, The Trial of the Chicago 7. All good candidates.
All good candidates. Still haven't seen Nomadland. Still haven't seen The Father. Any others?
Nomadland won the BAFTA as well, so it's obviously quite a strong contender.
Nomadland has been sweeping. See, even taking those two out, and I know they are two prominent leads in the current thinking, it doesn't make this decision any easier, because I think Trial, Promising Young Woman, Judas and the Black Messiah. Are there any others that, to my mind?
We've seen all of them except for those two.
No, what I mean is, of those, with the two that I haven't seen and the three I've just mentioned, what does that leave us with?
Oh, sorry.
So that's Promising. So the two we haven't seen, which is The Father and Nomadland, and then the three that I think are leading the race are Promising Young Woman, Trial of the Chicago 7, Judas and the Black Messiah, and what's that leave us with?
That would leave us with Mank, Minari, and Sound of Metal.
I don't think those three are going to... Okay, I'm happy to sweep those three. I don't think they'll get Best Picture. Oh, again, I'm going to throw to you. What do you think? Where are you at? Because you've seen all of those that I've seen.
Goodness. It's difficult, isn't it? Because the Oscars sometimes shy away from stuff that's too controversial. So the Trial of Chicago 7, because sort of almost by coincidence was very topical, and people might be too shy of. I don't know if Promising Young Woman is beefy enough. And again, and Judas and the Black Messiah, same as Trial of Chicago 7, kind of a bit heavy. People, they tend to like things that are a bit lighter. And so actually I'm going to disagree. I think Mank might win. But because Hollywood loves Hollywood.
I'd be so disappointed. I have no problem with Mank. I love David Fincher, as I mentioned in the last David Fincher film I discussed. It's not the film. It's not the film for this year. I just don't think... Any other year I might have considered it, but this is not the year for this film. Okay. I am going to, again... All three of those that I think, Promising Young Woman, Trial of the Chicago 7, and Judas and the Black Messiah, to me, are if any of one of those three win, I will rest easy. I will be happily go, yes, no question, until I've seen the other two, Father and Nomadland. Then those might also be at that same level. Promising Young Woman is so captivating, and again, it's there's something about it that's so in the moment, even though all three of them are really modern commentary films. I do love Promising Young Woman, but then I love Judas and the Black Messiah. I also think equally that's got such a powerful performance and tells such a rich and interesting story, and Trial of the Chicago 7. So, okay, this is where I think I'm going to go with this. I want Promising Young Woman to win. I think Trial of the Chicago 7 will win, because it is Aaron Sorkin, and it has such it's an ensemble, and Hollywood do like ensembles, and whereas Judas and the Black Messiah is so critical of specifically, so aggressively critical, Trial of the Chicago 7 is more, as much as there are characters and structures within within the commentary, it's more even-handed comparably. So I think Trial of Chicago 7. However, I want Promising Young Woman. And again, I'm sure if I was to do this video in 3 months' time in a week's time when I've seen Nomadland, and in 3 months' time when I've seen The Father, maybe my entire outlet will change. But that's where I'm at. So, Best Picture, want Promising Young Woman, think Trial of Chicago 7. So that is where we are at with the Oscar prediction video. So, tomorrow evening, because, as I said, in real life I actually do have to work, so the video won't be even filmed until tomorrow evening. I'll obviously discuss the winners similar to this. But thank you for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed some, if not all of this discussion. There will be a normal video also going up sometime this evening. I'm not sure which will come first, this or the video I record. I upload later. But yes, thank you for joining me. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell to get notifications of when new videos go up. And there are well over 100 videos previously, including probably about 25% of them being Oscar nominees within the Oscar nominee playlist. There's also the BAFTA nominee playlist as well, and of course there are a dozen other playlists or half dozen other playlists that I've got on the channel. So do check some of those out. You can follow me on Twitter at Jordan_Woodley, where I'm always tweeting movie-related content or interesting videos, or, of course, links to my own videos as they go up. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.